This is an Octave Higher, a weekly expose of Jamaican musical talents from a unique angle. Some may even say the right angle. From the men and women who continue to compose, perform, and produce music we have become so attached to. An Octave Higher pays tribute to these musical heroes that you won't necessarily see behind a microphone or on the front page of an album cover, but you have been enjoying their talents and creativity over the years. Thanks for joining us as we delve into the mind and whole a reason with another fine Jamaican musician. Welcome. It's time to take you an octave higher.
Man, it's a long time I don't hear that tune, you know. The Flintstones! Gentlemen, ladies and boys and girls all over the world, let me welcome you to another edition of An Octave Higher. I'm your host, Omar Trowers, and with me today is the smashing pianist. I mean, only him can play Flintstones. Dennis Rushton.
Yeah, man.
Dennis, what go on, my virgin?
Blessings, man.
Well, of course, Dennis, you know how we do inside An Octave Higher. It's all about the musicians behind the projects, and we wanna hear your story. We wanna know, first of all, how it is you got involved in music and why you stuck to your guns all these years. You know, so right off the bat, Dennis, I mean, are you like a child prodigy, or was it like mommy and daddy just said, I want my son to be a pianist?
My parents, mom and dad sent me to music lessons when I was 9 years old. I was doing classical music. I did up to 8 years of classical music with the Royal Schools of Music from London.
Yes.
I was almost pursuing an LRSM when I told my mother I wanted to play music by ear.
You were bold enough to tell your mother that?
Yeah, man, I was about 15.
Oh, the high school influence, man.
I said, Mom, I want to play music by ear, and I'm going to be a musician. Of course, you know, the usual comment. No, you have to play classical music, and you have to read. I said, but Mommy, when I become a professional musician, reading music won't help me. Because unless I'm going to play classical music in Europe,
yes,
you know, then there's no real need to read anymore. I'm already doing grade 7. I can read.
So, Dennis, Mommy wanting you to play classical music and you want to do something totally. give me an idea of some of the classical pieces.
Mommy liked this, right?
Yeah. Sweet.
And Mommy liked this.
Is that Phantom of the Opera?
Love Story.
Love
Theme
Story.
from Love Story. The first one was the theme from Furry List.
Yes.
And then I used to play the Moonlight Sonata.
These are the soothing pieces that, you know, every senior citizen would enjoy. But you wanted something more exciting.
Yeah, you know. I wanted
want to play that. That sounds like jazz, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're a jazz man.
Jazz man.
So you weren't interested in pop or anything like that?
No. Pop wasn't for me. I tried it. I didn't like it. I wasn't comfortable. Didn't resonate with my spirit too well, so
Yes.
I left it alone. But I still play pop love songs for weddings.
Yes.
And when I have to do it. At 15, I saw myself in church playing music. I saw myself in restaurants and upscale hotels and bars. And I saw myself playing for presidents and governor generals and prime ministers. I mean, God is good to me at this age, tender age of 25. Well, feels like 25. I mean, I've done it all.
I was wondering if you had breakfast as well. 25. Big up yourself. You look good for 25. I'm not saying that. Yes, I'm working on my 26th year now.
You know, so that's pretty much the journey. I did everything. I went to the great Calabar High School. You know, we win champs every year, as you all know. Went to Calabar High School, went to EXED, went to UTech, was working at the Light and Power Company for a number of years, 7 years. And while, I mean, I'm grateful to the Light and Power Company, but while I was there, I was uncomfortable. I was working, I was going on a good job, I was making good money, had a stable job, very comfortable in life at the time, changing cars regularly, yeah? Eating, flying out of the country. But there was a longing inside. I was uncomfortable.
Your passion was calling you.
Passion was calling me. My father died in 1999, September, October 1999. So I figured, oh, this is a grand time to make an excuse. I said, Mommy, I'm going to leave my job and I'm going to come home and stay with you. Of course, she's getting up in age, so she's like, okay, son. And I left. I walked out of JPS in December 99 at the turn of Y2K,
Yes.
year 2000.
Yes.
I built the studio before I left. So I left the Friday and walked into my own place on the Monday morning. The first 5 years, to give you the Christian side, the first 5 years was rough. And I had to employ faith. It was rough. It was
When you
rough.
say rough, brethren, what you call
Financially.
rough?
Financially, I was struggling.
No, I make no money.
No, I make no money.
Broke pocket.
Broke pocket.
Hungry.
Well, not really hungry, but struggling. It was just a matter of time, and I had to exercise faith.
Yeah.
And God opened the doors, and I started working. I got several jobs. I got several contracts. Everything just came one by one. And then I got a phone call one day, and it was somebody, a representative of BET. And like I said, the rest is history. After I did BET, the Jamaican media opened up. Because I kept knocking at doors, and they just wouldn't pay me no mind.
Because you never have no pedigree.
But after BET showcased me across the world,
Yes.
200 million viewers, 150 countries. After that,
Everybody wanted a piece of
opened
Dennis
up.
Rushton.
Yeah, and then one day I was in the States, I was in New York, and a pastor who likes my music just asked me to just come and play for him, just for the fun of it. And when I was finished, he said, I'm going to put you on the Word Network tomorrow morning. I'm like, you serious? That was another 200 million viewers. Boom. And like they say, the rest is history. And you know, Word Network is number 2 to
TBN, yes.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, Dennis, when you look back at all these milestones in your life, would you see any of them as specific defining moments in your career journey so far?
BET really changed life for me. Because before that, I had met some important people. I've played for some important people, people like Wesley Snipes, people like Jasmine Guy from Family Matters. I opened shows for Kirk Franklin, CC Winans, here in Jamaica. And I did some work. I did a dinner for the mayor of Birmingham, England, at the turnover. And, you know, these were good moments.
Yeah.
You know, playing at Wesley Snipes' sister's wedding at a private property in Otarius. Won't even call a name. You know, defining moments. Because to be playing for people like this,
yes.
you know, at that level, you kind of know, well, okay, for them to choose me, then something
significant is
But
happening.
BET, when I got through on BET, and it was me who called anybody, that is just a divine miracle to get the call and get invited. And then they sold about 5 of us from Jamaica on it. And of all the 5 of us, they showed mine more. And at that point, I knew that, okay, there's somebody out there who likes me. There's somebody out there who likes the talent. There's somebody who appreciates the gift. That was
interesting. So if it wasn't for the passion of your parents, you wouldn't have been directed into music. And if it wasn't for your own love of the music as you developed over the years, you wouldn't have gotten to the point where a BET or a Word Network would want to showcase Dennis Rushton.
Right.
Fast forward to today, my brethren. I mean,
Well, life is good now. I'm a happy man. I have no complaints. Life is good. I'm enjoying life. Currently, what I'm doing, I am.
you have a
running-
major project on TV right now.
Yes, sure. I'm associated with All Together Sing, the #1 television show in Jamaica. Proud to be a part of it, and I'm the veteran judge. I'm the only judge that's on it now. I was there from the
From the beginning.
beginning. Great feeling.
Yes.
And I mean, I have the joy of working with fellow musicians. As you probably know, it's the only show on TV with 3 musicians.
Yes.
Musicians.
Musicians.
Who know about music.
Because you have Joy
Right.
Brown. with
Joy
you
Brown,
now.
Michael Son
Michael,
Harris.
yes. Interesting.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm doing now. Away from serving as the current music director for Swallowfield Chapel, which is an exciting opportunity. Because, you know, Swallowfield is like a cutting-edge church.
Yes.
It's fun working with the young people there. So that's what I'm doing now. On the other side, I'm working on the career of Lisa. Kahara Lisa.
Summertime, where the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, yeah, don't you cry.
She's going to be coming out with a couple of songs on the project. So I'm working on building her. We've spent the last year and a half working on her career and building her as a soloist. And then the other exciting side is that my 12-year-old son is a producer.
When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be looking at the life work of Dennis Rushton. And we're going to be hearing more about this producer's son that he's telling us about. I'm curious, really curious. An octave higher, we'll be back.
Do you have a product or service to advertise? Or do you wish to become a sponsor of this program, an octave higher? Then please call the number on the screen, 876-831-3042, or email an octavehigher79@gmail.com. We look forward to partnering with you in developing this new reality TV concept, an entertaining discussion program interspersed with spontaneous, delightful performances.
Why you playing? What you playing? Sounds real good. An octave higher.
Coming soon on An Octave Higher.
You know, you're young, you have this kind of super thinking like everything is possible. So, you know, the harm is saying, oh, those, I want to be like those hard, you know, hard and tough and militant kind of person. So
Yes.
I've played for Jack Ure. Even this song that he came out with, When I Find That Girl, I was playing the
When
horn
I
section.
find
Yeah.
that girl.
Yeah, that's those on section.
An Octave Higher, where the best of Jamaica's musicians and producers are showcased.
Welcome back to An Octave Higher, friends, and I trust that you've been enjoying the conversation with myself and the smashing pianist Dennis Rushton. Oh, we just call it Rushton? Rushton. What? People used to call you Rushton and them thing when you go to school?
Rushton was the most popular name. Rushton. The Calabar boys, Rushton. Them couldn't call me nothing else.
Nothing else. They don't call you
later-
Rusty or nothing like that.
No, Rushton. One or two say Rusty, but most people said Rushton. Later on in life, they used to call me String Beans.
It's a good thing. You put on a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not streaming anymore. You know?
All right, Dennis. Before the break, man, you spoke about your 12-year-old prodigy.
Yeah.
A producer at 12 years old.
Yes. So my 12-year-old.
Hold on. Before you tell me about my 12-year-old, what is the name of your 12-year-old?
Well, I am Dennis Andrew Rushton. He is Dennis Alexander Rushton.
So why he had to add Dennis Rushton?
Well, I don't know. It just happened because my father was Dennis Alpheus Rushton.
What is not this though, lad? So Dara all the way. So Dennis Anthony.
Andrew, no, my name is
You're
Dennis
Anthony.
Andrew Rushton. My son's name is Dennis Alexander Rushton.
Dennis Alexander Rushton.
But his music name is Dr. G.
Dr. G.
Yeah, man.
Talk to me about Dr. G.
Now this little clever little youth. We're driving on the road. I'm taking him home from school. And then he's like, Daddy, I have a rhythm. So I'm like, you have a rhythm? Yes, Daddy. I build a rhythm on the iPad. I'm like, you build a rhythm on the iPad? I said, no, man, you must be joking. He said, yeah. He plays the rhythm that he made all by himself.
Wow.
He downloaded an app and played the rhythm, and I was blown away. And he made sure to do it in secret.
So you didn't tell him that he's using up his school time?
No. I was not aware of it. Then he said, Daddy, I'm performing at school. He was a student at Mona Prep at the time. And I wanted to come and watch a performance. I said, you performing at school? What do you mean you performing? 'Cause I didn't know that he sing or rap or anything
Yeah.
like that. Because when he's at home, he don't sing, he don't rap. He just focus on his schoolwork. So I don't know that side of him. Went to the school, saw these 4 guys rapping, and I was blown away. Another day we're driving on the road, coming home from school, and he said, Daddy, can we stop in half a tree? I said, why? I'm going to pick up my t-shirt. T-shirt? He saved his lunch money, paid for t-shirts, and printed young producers on his shirt. YP.
The man is
I'm
an
like-
entrepreneur.
I said, hold on now. You're going a bit too far now. You're serious? He said yesterday. Few months passed, sent him off to Westmoreland, holidays. He came back with a cap, YP. So I'm like, where you get that cap from? Then, saved his lunch money, bought a plain black hat,
And got it embroidered.
and went home, used needle and thread himself, and sewed YP on the shirt with the stars all around and YP. Yesterday, I was in the beautiful parish of Ocherios, where I call home. And he sent me a WhatsApp. I said, Daddy, check that out. When I click on it, it was a website with Dr. G and Liquor G and all these other members of the group.
So they developed their own website.
He made a website. My son, my 12-year-old son made a website with links to his song on YouTube. He has a video on YouTube, Math Evolution, M-A-T-H-E-S, Math Evolution. So we have a young producer coming.
Well, Dennis, guess what? At 15, you were telling your mother what you wanted to do with music. So is it surprising to you that at 12, your son is being assertive in his musical
And he's
pursuits?
well ahead of me because I don't have a clothing line. I mean, I had a website, but I don't have a clothing line.
He's leading the way now.
He's leading the way. Yeah, so I'm guiding him.
Yes.
And he has a song that's coming out that talks about, even though I'm a lawyer and a doctor, I'm going to be a musician.
I love that.
So it's balanced.
I love that. Even though I'm a lawyer and a doctor,
Yeah.
I'm going to be a musician.
Yeah.
So he's telling the world that he's positive.
Yes, positive.
He
He's going
knows
to be a
where
lawyer
he's going.
or a doctor.
Yes.
This is no question about it.
Yes.
But he's going to be a musician as well.
All right, excellent. You know, we're talking about the life and the work of the man, Dennis Rushton, an octave higher. We got to take another break, but we'll be back because we still have to get into this man and his compositions and all that he's planning to do for the future.
Do you have a product or service to advertise? Or do you wish to become a sponsor of this program, an Octave hire? Then please call the number on the screen 876-831-3042 or email an octavehire79@gmail.com. We look forward to partnering with you in developing this new reality TV concept, an entertaining discussion program interspersed with spontaneous, delightful performances.
Why you play? What you're playing sounds real good. An octave higher.
Coming soon on An Octave Higher.
You know, you're young, you have this kind of super thinking like everything is possible. So, you know, the harm you're saying, oh, those, I want to be like those hard, you know, hard and tough and militant kind of person. So
Yeah.
I've played for Jack Ure. Even this song that he came out with, When I Find That Girl, I was playing the
When
horn
I
section.
find that girl.
Yeah, that's those horn section.
An Octave Higher, where the best of Jamaica's musicians and producers are showcased.
An octave higher. Excitement can't done. Listen, man, I never know so much was happening in the life of the man Dennis Rushton, and I'm so happy we got the chance to talk, man. You told me about your 12-year-old son just now and his musical pursuits, but I want to refocus on you, man. You've had an album out for some years now, and you've composed quite a bit in that space. From then till now, what's on the table right now? What's in the cards for a man called Dennis Rushton?
Well, I've released 3 albums, solo albums. The last one was in 2004. I have made up my mind. I'm going to release another album. We've actually started working on it. I'm going to be working along with my son, my producer son, and Lisa. So we're going to be putting out some singles in 2017. We're working on some stuff now. Use the last 2 years to build and work on my image as well. As you notice,
You're putting on a little bit of weight.
putting on some weight and so on. So that's for the music video.
Are you getting regular makeup?
Yes,
sessions?
and ball head, so that changing
worry,
the image, and the bow ties, courtesy of Lisa's Closet, and so on and so forth.
I like that.
Yeah, so that's the way forward.
All right,
we're
image makeover.
We're getting into fashion. We're getting into videos. We're getting into recordings. We're going to take this thing to another level.
So you're changing the whole marketing
Changing the whole
of Dennis Rushton.
Right.
All right, I like that.
And eventually, Dennis Rushton will start producing his own television shows. So that's the way we're going.
With Young G, Dr. G,
Dr. G.
As a musical producer.
Yeah.
Keep it in the family.
Yes, man.
Can you give us any inkling of any other project that you have on the table right now?
Not really, because that is the immediate focus. Eventually, I want to produce my own television show. And I have spoken to fellow producers like yourself about the possibilities. It's not an immediate plan because it requires a certain amount of capital. And I'm not yet able to plunge the kind of capital I would need to plunge in it to do the kind of production I want.
Indeed.
Because I want a first world production. I don't want anything that looks like it's cheap. It must look good, And I want to be able to interview major recording artists locally and internationally. Musicians and singers, not just singers.
How important is it, Dennis? I mean, when you think about what you went through at the start of your career and to where you are now, for those persons in the industry who are trying to build a career, how important is it, you think, that networking should be a focus?
Well, my personal assistant is Lisa, and she will tell you that every second word out of my mouth is business. Every second word. So if I'm sitting in a restaurant and somebody who I don't even know come up and say hello, I will stop and say hello. Because it's important to me that an audience is always in front of me. It's important if I'm going on a business trip or just traveling around and certain important, influential people want to say hello, I will say hello and I'll stop and talk, and I will, the first opportunity I get to give out a business card, I'll give it. And I mean, when, for example, the producer of the show, Paul Bennett, called me about this, yeah, sure. So it's not a question of money, it's a question of networking. Networking is very important. I tell my son, as I grew in him, that son, now that you're becoming a producer, you have to be careful how you behave, watch what you say, watch how you dress, because it all comes back to what's going to happen 5 years down the road, when you become the #1 producer in Jamaica. So you know, networking is very important, very important. For every time I walk on the road, if I get an opportunity to network, I'm going to jump on it.
Would you change?
I'll give you an example. It has happened to me several times. People bad drive me,
Yes.
and I drive them down early in the morning, pull up beside them because my car is heavily tinted. Pull up beside them, wind on the gleaner, the window, and say, "Good morning, sir. Have a good day." "Oh, boss, I'm sorry. Are you? Networking. Networking.
I like that. Most persons wouldn't be looking at it from that angle. I like that, Dennis. I think you just left a seriously positive word with our viewers. How you approach life and challenging situations. We're out of time, but I have to ask you this one last question. Would you trade your life as it is now for anything in the world?
No. I'm contented. I'm happy. I'm living my dream. And I'm happy.
And you're pursuing your passion.
I'm pursuing my dream. All my bills are paid. I'm not hungry. I'm not rich yet. But I'm happy. I'm comfortable. I'm contented.
Indeed.
And I'm in love. Moving right along.
Indeed. An octave higher. Hopefully I get a chance to be a part of that experience that Dennis is just talking about. You know, he's so in love with his business and his music.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure sharing with you and having this wonderful conversation with the man, the smashing pianist, Dennis Rushton. An octave higher. We'll have another in the series for you. Thank you and pleasant viewing.